Hi everyone, good morning, this is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. I greatly appreciate them. This is the weekly forecast. It is for all signs, so it is a broad spectrum reading. You need to figure out if and where it fits in your life, if at all. If it doesn't fit or doesn't make sense to your situation, that's okay. It doesn't mean anything's broken or wrong. You just might be working on something different at this time. It's originally created for the week of July 2nd through the 8th. It's not solely set for that date though. If you're seeing it on a different month or a different year or whatever, by all means, if it makes sense to your situation, utilize the reading. Don't get caught up in the dates. I believe that readings can be timeless and find us when we need them rather than when they were originally created for, right? So keep that in mind, and that's with any of my videos. For those of you that are new, please check out the drop-down menu underneath any of my daily or weekly videos. And there's just some housekeeping rules, things I want you to think about when utilizing my channel, what decks I'm using during the reading, how to follow me on social media if you want to. If you want a private reading, you would follow my social media and direct message me either at my Instagram or my Facebook business page. Please know that I will never reach out to you to sell you a reading. You would always have to initiate that conversation. So if anybody were to reach out and say they're me and be trying to sell you a reading, please know that's not me. I never instigate that. I believe that, Spirit, the universe, brings me the people that I need to read when I need to read them. So you have to instigate that. Also, easy ways to support the channel. You can do so by hitting the thumbs up button, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell. That notification bell will let you know when I put up new content, which is usually daily. So do subscribe. Leave me a question or comment on the video if you have something to say, or if something really resonates. I like to hear that stuff, because sometimes I just feel like I'm talking to the ethers, especially when I'm dealing with an all signs collective energy. It's rather broad. So leave me a question or comment and then share the video out. Those things also help. What else? This is a weekly, so I'm not going to refer back to the other weekly, but just to let you know, the previous weekly does populate in the lower left-hand corner of this video at the end of the video. So if you want to check out last week's weekly, you certainly can. And let's see what Spirit wants us to know. I've finished shuffling the last deck, the clarifiers. What does Spirit want us to know? What does the collective need to know for July 2nd through July 8th? I will say that it looks like, and I didn't know this last night, I went out to the moon. It was in Scorpio. I'm a Pisces. We're in Cancer season. The moon was in Scorpio. I had a really weird moment. It was very cool last night. I was watching TV, watching Netflix, and I have an AirPod speaker that sometimes goes off. I don't know if it's the TV that sets it off or me that sets it off when I say things in the room, but sometimes Siri will make statements and I'll be like, no, Siri. But Siri said something and she started playing a song while I was watching Netflix, and I was like, wait, what? So I turned off Netflix and I started to listen to the song, and it was a song I had never heard. I didn't know what it was. And so I grabbed my phone and I Shazammed the song just because I was like, wait, this is odd. And I got the song off Shazam, but when I looked at my phone screen, it was 12:12. So that was like, that little kind of signifier sign from the universe, like, or the angels, hey, 12:12. So it definitely let me know that this random song that was coming through my iPod speaker randomly, I don't even know why, was important. When I listened to the lyrics, it blew my mind. It was definitely a message. I stepped outside to listen to it in the moon. It was just like this really weird moment of the moon not quite fully full. I understand now why the moon was so impactful and the clouds were blowing by it, and it was just this real quiet moment of peace and serenity. It really felt like I was being supported by Spirit. It was beautiful. I haven't had a moment like this in a little while, and it was very nice to feel. The other thing I will mention too, and I think that I'm feeling it through a sense of peace, is that Neptune has gone retrograde in the sign of Pisces. So there was a lot of water activity being at Cancer season, the moon being in Scorpio, and Neptune going retrograde in Pisces. So I think it was all very beautiful. Anyways, enough about me. Let's get on to you. Sorry. All right, so let's see what the beginning of the week's card is. So we have the Two of Swords, indecision and avoidance. I don't necessarily always get this with the Two of Swords. Sometimes I think of the Two of Swords as also being listening to our intuition or possibly our emotions and protecting ourselves in our mind. Twos can be about relationships and decisions, sometimes decisions within those relationships, and oftentimes I see the twos as relationships to the self. There could be a clarity of mind that we start out this week with that we're pretty solid in, is my feeling. You know, that mountain in the background obviously would symbolize a challenge of some sort, but I also feel like that could be protecting us. This feels more like protection than anything to me. You know, the Two of Swords can be about reluctance or an unwillingness to budge. It can be an outright no. But to me, these swords are golden. They feel like they're protecting us. You know, I've said this in the past. It's this like, you shall not pass energy from like the Lord of the Rings. That's the feeling that I get here. I feel like we might be very solid and clear. That sliver of that moon there, that dark sliver, says to me we're listening to our intuition and then, you know, forming our thoughts, our communications, or lack of communication, with this being the Two of Swords. We could be choosing to lack communication or not communicate at this time. And we have every right to do so. And it may be due to reasons of protection, you know, keeping our own mind like sort of free and clear of the challenges that may be around us. And that can also be that mountain range. Those very challenges or those very situations that we don't want to deal with or we don't find ourselves wanting to give to could be the very thing that's actually even almost promoting us to protect ourselves. Because I get this sense of challenge from that mountain range, but I also get this sense of like protection from it. So it's really interesting to me. We might be, I'm getting this sort of visual in my head of being in the eye of the storm. You know, the storm can be storming around and it's most calm right in the center at the eye. And I think that this Two of Swords might be us sitting in the eye of the storm of what's going on around us, whether that's globally, locally, socially, or within our very, you know, close personal relationships, that we don't have to get all like drawn up and freaked out about. We can still stay stable and connect to ourselves, our own thoughts, and what we communicate, and keep that communication clear for ourselves. We may not be giving it to others at this time, and we have every right to do so. The next card is the Nine of Swords. Again, lots of swords energy. Nine of Swords indicates, this says conflict and anguish. It can be nightmares, bad dreams, worries, things of that nature. But this, with this deck, I feel like this is protection again. I don't know why. Nines are oftentimes completions in the deck, but I feel like these swords are coming together to close down a barrier. Maybe this is someone else's conflict and anguish and worry, right? Maybe this is someone else's stuff around us that they're trying to get us to engage in. And I feel like these nine swords are kind of coming together to almost create, similar to like the Nine of Wands, that wall. There's a very small space here, let me just show you, to move through these wands, or swords, I'm sorry, you know, you can't get in. And I think that that's okay today. You know, those of you that might be struggling with this situation, this Nine of Swords could indicate that. We can find our truth within this, is my feeling, and we can hold tight to that truth. We don't need to let others' truths or what they need or their opinions affect us. Let's see what the last card is for the end of the week. Okay, the Two of Rings or Pentacles. Now look at that mountain range. It's further in the back and we are floating above it, right? With a bigger, grander perspective. This is fluctuation and adaptability, it says here. The Two of Pentacles can be about juggling or making a decision, an earthbound decision, something in our 3D world, our relationships, right? Because it is Pentacles. But again, I feel like it's funny to me because these two rings together almost look like wedding rings, or you know, some sort of union or connection. We could be dealing with a very serious connection and how we communicate within it this week. An important connection. A connection that to me, and I don't always get this with the Two of Pentacles, a connection based in love. These rings being kind of locked together here speak to it about taking a higher perspective and maybe making a decision around that from a place of love. That doesn't necessarily mean that we give to a situation that's no longer giving to us, but it might mean that we rise above it and we make decisions from a place of practicality and discernment rather than getting all caught up in the craziness of, stinking thinking, worry, all of that. And that would be the Nine of Swords. But again, I don't feel like that Nine of Swords is our worry if it is to indicate worry in the midweek. It is someone else's worry potentially. And be aware, on some level, we're all empathic. We're all energy ultimately. And so we can send each other telepathic messages and we can pick up empathically on other people's worry and assume it's our own. And so that might be the case with that Nine of Swords. The Two of Swords feels to me in the beginning of the week we feel pretty shored up and in charge. And the Nine of Swords still, I get this sense of, with it being a nine, it's going to be a liberation of a personal liberation of some sort with our thoughts, how we're communicating within a relationship. And I think that by the end of the week with we have two twos here. So there is this maybe transformation of how we think about and communicate within a relationship or situation that brings about practical changes that suit us. These changes should be, made from a place of not just practicality, but with these two rings being together, I feel like this sense of love, even if that's, tough love, where we have to love from afar, then that's what we have to do. I do feel like with this card, the clouds around that mountain, even this higher perspective we may have, we're able to see a little bit more. Will you not look at sutures, please? He's going to the doctor today. We might be able to see a little bit more clearly around a situation, be able to make those decisions that suit ourselves. Now let's go to the Cosmic Insights Oracle. Caution. Find out more information. Don't overwork yourself. All right, so that keys into the Nine of Swords energy that we see in the midweek and all of the, the Two Swords cards that lead the week out, like the first card and the second card. Finding out more information would be the Swords aspect of this. Protecting our heart. And that's the rings bonded together there. This is a significant relationship or decision, how we feel, how we communicate within it. And we might need to be careful in how we move forward because our feelings or someone else's feelings could be at risk. So there might be a little bit of needing to wait, right? Or because caution means move slowly, which to me, yesterday's card was patience, was it not? It was from this deck, even though it was for last week, there was this message of patience. And this sort of seems to, and this will stay with us throughout the week. So keeping this sense of caution around us isn't necessarily that we're in danger. It's more of a sense of like the vibe that I'm getting from these Swords cards is like building a protection around us with how we think or what we communicate or what we choose not to communicate at this time. Don't overwork yourself. Let others indicate to you who they are through how they act or what they say or the differences between the two, right? What they may say something and then act a different way. That may prove to us we need to take caution or find out more information because what is being said or what is being acted out isn't in alignment with what's what should be going on, let's say. I know we're not supposed to should on ourselves, but, it might be, I don't want to say opposite, but if we're paying attention, right, with this caution card, and we're looking at stuff, we can be gaining information that allows this to be an easier process than we think, that almost allows these two rings to rise up to this higher perspective for us to be able to make this decision. And I will say that yesterday's reading, which was the end of the week reading, but there was that Five of Wands with those 5 crystals where I was saying it spoke to me about instead of being like a fight, it was more about picking a direction, being pulled in different directions as to which route to go. These two cards here could be us making that decision this week as to, okay, this is the route. I see the challenges. I'm cautious about, what I communicate or what's being communicated to me, my thoughts around that. And I'm ready to, by the end of the week, make clear, discernible decisions from a higher perspective that is based in love, but it may be self-love is the priority here, and I think that that's always a good thing. Now let's go. This deck, I gotta say this really quick. This deck, I want to give this artist just desserts, but I don't see her name anywhere on the box. She calls herself Star Girl. And then I think it's the Star Maiden Tarot. I misnamed it yesterday. It's a very groovy deck, but it's only major arcana. So I'm using this as a buffer to the Oracle card. So because of the, impactful energy of the majors, it is intended as a sort of a message from Spirit, what Spirit's doing in the background. So this is card number 9, which is ideas. Receive new signals. 1 second, I'll be right back, guys. I just need to check the dogs. You guys being good? Stay good, please. Stay good. I just don't want them to mess with his sutures. He's going to the doctor to have them removed today. He's had them in for 2 weeks. All right, so with this, what's interesting about this ideas card, and this deck is really kind of trippy a little bit. It's very 70s. I love the color. This is the deck that I wanted to use as the July deck because it associated with the colors in the 70s. It gave me very fireworksy feels to it. But this 9 card, she titles my major arcana in very weird ways, and this is the card of Hermit. Right? This is Virgo energy. This is going inward, right? And it says here, receive new signals. This card is saying, find out more information. Don't overwork yourself. And this card is saying, receive new signals. This is the more information that we're being asked to find. Spirit is telling us that we need to tap into our certainty because of all of these blue rings here. And this is the mind, body, spirit at work, like aligning our thoughts, the swords here, into a place where our spirit, our certainty, our decision-making skills are, done with certainty or made from a place of a clear perspective. And so I think that there's an openness to new ideas. The Hermit's energy, because this would traditionally represent with the Hermit, is listening to our own inner truth. And the Hermit would indicate this kind of lack of communication that I feel like is going on with the 9 of Swords and the 2 of Swords. This sort of, I don't want to say wall is being put up, but if we do find ourselves not wanting to give to a situation at this time, that's okay, because we may need to retain our energy or our attention, which is very valuable, as to the reception of the new ideas, to the gathering of the new information that we need so that we can move forward in a clearer sense, right? Or with a clearer perspective. And that will give us more certainty, make us feel more solid. It's kind of like the Hermit holds that lamp of truth. He's also Virgo energy, which is earth energy, which ties to this 2 of rings at the end of the week. So we may find ourselves through new ideas and discovering of new information quite aware very solidly and very certainly of what it is we need to do to work smarter, not harder within our relationships. And that may be because those rings are levitating high above that mountain, that may be to back off this week. Still remain in love. Understand we care about the person or the situation or the drama at hand, but we can look at it from a higher perspective where we don't have to get sort of dragged down into it, if that makes any sense. All right, so let's go to the clarifiers. We have the Queen of Pentacles, more earth energy. I like seeing her here. She's very nurturing and loving. She would be any of the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. So she kind of is the feminine aspect of this Hermit card to a degree. She's also about the 3D world. So I think that with some of this, the 2 of Rings or the 2 of Pentacles at the end of the week, we could be, through our thoughts in the beginning of the week and our ideas, the information we're receiving, the new ideas we want, the new signals we want to be receiving from our inner self even, could be helping us to manifest new, more fertile, abundant, creative outcomes. That could be the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Pentacles. She's definitely associated with fertility, abundance, creativity, manifestation. She's very much of a card of like body healing, you know, healing at the cellular level, at the 3D. So bring that in, you know, nurture that. The next card is the Two of Wands. Not mad at this. This is a card again of new beginnings. Again, it's another two. We have a 2-2-2 here happening. We have the swords, pentacles, and now wands are present on the board. So there is some sort of shift of perspective, which leads to a firm decision, is my feeling. But we might find ourselves pausing throughout the week to clear our thoughts, and gather that new information before making that new decision. Wands represents the spirit, fire, travel, change, right? And he's always looking to new horizons. I like that he's sort of looking to the queen though, right? Just the physical art of the card. It's almost like he's like, okay, babe, what do we want to do to heal ourselves? Which direction do I take us? Like if this is the 3D body, this is our higher self or our spirit, like consulting with our 3D self and saying, babe, you look a little tired. What do you need? And she says, I need Pilates, or I need meditation, or I need better diet this week, or I need, and not need, I should say she wants to give, right? Because Pentacles is an energy of generosity. She wants to give to herself what it is that she needs so that she can be abundant and flourish. And the Two of Wands wants to support that, I believe. I believe all of these twos want to support that. Again, like I said, twos can be very much for me about relationship to the self, deepening that relationship. So let's see what the last clarifier is. The Four of Pentacles. Again, a card of withholding, right? Sometimes this can be seen as a card of being like a miser or scarcity. I don't get that at all. I get this as a card of stability. Fours to me represent stabilizing things, right? If this is about stabilizing, you know, money situations, you can look at it in that way. You know, sometimes people see the Four of Pentacles as holding on to money too tightly. I don't think that that's the case here. I think that it's interesting we see this caution card with the heart, and then we see this pentacle in front of this gentleman's heart chakra, right? He is keeping his... It's almost like with the queen here, and that coin on his crown, asking ourselves in our 3D world to take stock and look at what's working and what's not. And then how do we maintain what we have and keep a solid foundation? Being open and receptive to new ideas of how to build upon that foundation through inspiration, because that's the Two of Wands, or the spirit aspect of the Two of Wands, to move forward in really practical, actionable ways. The Four of Pentacles could indicate a slowness, right? Because Pentacles to me is the slowest energy of the deck, of the suits. But it's a step-by-step energy, right? And it's a step towards, honestly, I think healing ourselves, or like the focus should be on ourselves, our thoughts, and our 3D world, and what it is that we need. I hope that makes sense. Let's go to the grounding stone for the week and see what we get. What should we ground in for this week? Okay. It's laugh. So I'm going to say keep it light while we're moving through this. I do feel between all of the Pentacles energy, the Hermit being here, that caution card here, and even the swordsiness in the beginning of the week, there is maybe a easy opportunity this week to get caught up into a sense of like heaviness. Like this decision could weigh on us in some way, or feel like it's moving too slowly, or be a little bit too much work, or make us a little nervous. The Four of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, for that matter, feel like they're trying to stabilize ourselves while we move through all of this two energy and this decision that needs to be made, this shift of perception that needs to be made, this inner work, because the 9 card, the 9 ideas card is the Hermit. It's about soul searching, guys. That's the Hermit's job, is to go in with the inner light and do the spiritual work on our own to find the answers that we need. And so sometimes that feels like a slower, more arduous process, and Laugh to me says, no, you can actually enjoy this process, be in the present moment, and find moments or areas of lightness or joy, even in this, even if it feels like it's moving slowly, or we feel like we have to be cautious, or we have to, you know, draw in the new information, or pay extra attention, or keep a little bit more quiet this week, keep a little bit more introspective this week. That's okay. You know, the full moon is in Capricorn too, another earth energy sort of thing going on there. So that is a kind of cool transformation. And full moons are about release, guys. So what is it that we might need to release so that we can move forward into this week with more stability, with fresh perspective, and keeping it light, laughing about it, not getting too down on ourselves, because I think that there is a profound, I'm going to say this, a profound wisdom that is coming to us that will enable us to make a really good choice this week. That's my prediction for ourselves. All right. I hope that makes sense. If it does, please like the video. That is your weekly video. Tune in tomorrow to see how the energy changes throughout the dailies. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Please leave me a question or comment, especially if you're new, and say hello. I have noticed that there's been a couple of new subscribers, so welcome. And share the video out. Did I say subscribe and hit the notification bell? I hope I did. Have a wonderful week, you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the daily. Thank you to those that support the channel. I greatly appreciate you, especially those of you that support my Patreon. And let's see what this week brings for us. It should be very, very interesting. All right, take care. I love you all.